So, are we ready to begin?
Now I am.
Okay. So, as always, always every time we remember it, fun facts about the characters. Who would like to begin? Probably George, because he doesn't have food in his mouth.
George really loves the city of Jasper, and it would be so fantastic if it stayed the way it is, you know? No,
You're pleading to a cruel god right now.
I'm pleading to a cruel god. I guess this did come up last time, but George is able to play other instruments other than the flute, but his mother's favorite was the flute, so that's why he is always using the flute and not anything else.
Okay. Very nice.
I guess I will continue on the idea of music. As has been stated before and seen one time, I believe, Pike does have a pan flute, and he can kind of play it. It's something that he picked up on his travels.
What sort of stuff can he play? Like, can he do the hot crossed buns?
He can play. He can do like the hot cross buns type of stuff, and of course, he can do Through the Fire Flames on Expert.
So he spent his entire time playing just trying to get that one right. Okay. Kind of in theme with last session, that was not the first jailbreak that Gregor's ever participated in.
Did he prevent another jailbreak?
He was usually just on the other side of the jailbreak.
Yeah.
He has seen many a jailbreak in this time. And so going into it, he understood a little bit of, how jailbreakable these cells were, and concluded, oh, these chains are pretty thick, aren't they?
Not thick enough for Gregor.
Was unable to escape during the time.
So his conclusion was we're boned.
Yep, pretty much. All right. So to go into the recap then, last session, as with what I said with my Gregor fact, you all did a bit of a prison break, waking up in the dungeon of the Siva Manor, managing to turn into a rat, because Annette did not anticipate you to be a druid with wild shape, or beast shape? No, wild shape.
Yeah, wild shape.
And so you were able to just shrink out of the chains and make your way over to George's cell. You were able to undo some of George's bindings before Annette and Thomas had come down from the guard shift. At which point chaos ensued. Dry vines were put up. They were also lit on fire. People caught on fire. Someone got their neck snapped from an eldritch blast.
Hold on, that was not me. It was a force spell.
The recoil from the eldritch blast.
It was his own device.
Perchance. And also in this fight, Pink, you grabbed onto the consciousness shifter, the lesser consciousness shifter that was held by Annette, as she was seemingly trying to escape with Thomas Siva. At which point you teleported to your home tribe, the Ankek. Meanwhile, George had made his way after defeating everyone present, or having them indisposed in some other way. Actually, first he found the mangled mayor of Jasper, if I recall, V. Palombi, noting that that was probably the state that you all would have been, depending on how long you would have stayed here. But you made it to you. She was able to point you to where your things were, and you were able to make your way out into what seemed to be some sort of stage room, some sort of showroom inside the manor. You went over to a window in this showroom, pulled away the black curtain, or the blackout curtain, and saw that the city was on fire to such an extent that some of the buildings in the town square were in fact melting, buildings made of claystone. Of course, 6 hours into the future, still, Pink was in his village with Annette Siva. In just the moment that they had teleported there and had begun wrestling with the consciousness shifter, Pink noticed two things. A, it was snowing, which was odd for the season, and B, a large white bird or snake-like object was flying in and doused them both in a ray of frost, at which point they lost consciousness. And that's where we bring it in, over to George in the past, or present, and Pink in the future.
Or present.
But we're going to deal with you first, George, in the Siva Manor. Oh my goodness, the music lined up perfectly, kind of. You're in the
we are
showroom.
still technically in our captor's place.
Indeed, you are.
Man, they're so smart to burn down the surrounding areas to make our escape harder.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. One thing to point out is that while there is smoke and flames and melting spotted throughout the city, it seems like the centroid of it all is the town square.
Looks like you're gonna need to go through the fire and flames.
Ooh. Was that where Pink's pan flute song come from? That path?
You guys see this, do you not?
See what? Gregor says, stepping out of the coat closet with V. Plomby tied up to his back.
You might want to come over here. I think I've discovered why it's getting warm.
Oh. By chance, your city just doesn't usually do that, does it?
Not typically.
You hear footsteps rushing in the distance. Possibly coming your way, possibly not.
Okay, well, let's get out of here first. We're still probably not safe.
Yeah, I'd say that's probably a good plan. She sort of looks over her shoulder because she's tied up to Gregor's back to look out the window, and is just kind of awestruck seeing what's going on out the window. After that, at which point, a Hundan individual that you do. Actually, George, you wouldn't recognize. I don't think he ever went past your... No, he did come and check in on your cell. This is the Hundan guard, who, now that the graphics have had a bit of a chance to load in, is a golden retriever full Hundan in typical Siva lackeys garbs.
The
He's rushing into
graphics
this
loading
room.
in is just me seeing the Hundan.
Say that again?
The graphics loading in is just me getting a good look at the Hoondin.
Exactly. Now that you're not in the dark and there's lights throughout this room. He sees you standing in the room and has a moment of indecision. What are you doing? He seems to be aimed for the wall opposite to on the opposite side of the entrance from you.
I draw my sword and just point to where he's going and say, either you deal with us or you deal with what you're trying to deal with right now.
Yeah, and he, on the wall, you see him open some sort of hatch and pull down a lever, at which point the stage opens up, or begins to open up. This seems to be a slow process. He's looking at you while holding the lever. Looks like he's in a bit of a panic. How are you reacting here? You hear all sorts of like clockwork type machinery start to turn as this process is happening.
I watch him as I also prepare my flute. Is that all you can say now?
Whatever's attacking the city is apparently coming this way.
Oh.
Either you help me with these cannons, or do whatever you please. I doubt we're gonna see it through the end of the day.
Well, what can I do to help, man?
It's gonna take maybe 30 seconds to get these cannons up. You can see as the stage is now folded away.
From down below.
The artillery that you had seen before that was up on this sort of raised section is now being raised up into the room. Point one at the wall and fire it. I'll push the other one outside so that we can deter whatever it is.
All right, Gregor. Oh, well, okay, I'll just handle this myself.
I can certainly help with that.
Actually, yeah, you push the cannon, I will take care of the mare. That sounds like a better use of our strengths.
Sure.
Or lack thereof, for me.
Okay, so something is attacking the city. It wasn't the Sivas, which didn't make
Presumably.
sense.
I
guess, presumably, yeah.
What's that bedfellow saying?
Bedfellow?
Odd bedfellows, something like that.
Huh? Whomst?
War makes strange bedfellows? I don't know. Oh, Misery acquaints man with strange bedfellows is from Shakespeare. We're working with the Sivas right now.
All right, and we're going to switch to the next track as the cannons come up. All right. As far as I've been told, you just pull the lever on the back, or it looks like you push it in, and it'll fire.
All right, Garga, you got this.
All right. Gregor's gonna aim the cannon towards the wall that had the window you were looking at, and fire the cannon. And this huge eruption of wind force bursts through the wall. I'm gonna make a roll to see how much it destroys. And yeah, pretty much blasts the entire wall away. There's a little bit of there's still a little bit of the the corner support of the building still standing, but much of this wall is now blasted away. This is the wall that's oriented towards the town center, and you can see in the distance a black bird flying towards you. Some sort of big black albatross or something. All right. So the people pushing the cannon are going to be Gregor and this individual, the Hunden.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go ahead and make some strength checks. They have maybe 2 rolls to get it all the way outside. They're going to need to make at least 2 DC 13 strength checks. So there's Gregor. Here's the Hunden. Ooh. They're budging the cannon. That's with Gregor's modifier, that's a 12, and with them, that's going to be a 10. So they're budging it, but not very fast.
Do I have inspiration?
Oh.
I think I do. I have 1. They can push. It's fine.
All right. So they get 113, and so they have it so that they can aim towards the city, but not towards the sky right now. At which point, this black spot in the sky, this black creature, which now is appearing a little more snake-like, is quickly approaching you, and seemingly, from what you can see with how big it is, opening its mouth. All right, here's our shot. Now, I guess they're gonna roll to aim.
So, I'm guessing... Oh, am I holding the mare right now?
Gregor has the mayor on his back.
Why am I just standing there? Okay, I'm going to go over to the window. If it gets in range,
There's no more window anymore.
I'm gonna go over to now what is just air. And if it gets in range, try to aim an Eldritch Blast at it. Or 2.
What is the range of Eldritch Blast?
120 feet. That might be a little close.
Yeah, it's a little close, as the creature is probably about 1,000 feet away right now.
Yeah.
All right, they're gonna make a roll to aim, and they're gonna need to make a pretty high roll.
Okay,
Ooh.
I'm gonna... Oh.
Okay. I've not announced what
Could
it
I
is.
Bardic Inspiration? I guess
Sure.
if you already rolled it. Oh, okay.
It can be. Isn't it just before the DM gives the result?
Yeah, Bardic
before the
Inspiration
outcome.
adds extra to the roll.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to inspire the Hunden to really make sure his shot is good.
Okay, what are you doing to inspire him? You've got your items back.
Yeah. I'm going to play Through the Fire and Flames on my flute.
Hold up. Hold up. In music, I think we've got something for this. Somewhere. Through the Fire and the Flames Bardcore is in here, I think. No? Really? Well, you can imagine the Bardcore Through the Fire and Flames going on right now. I don't think I have it in my deck. So, as you play Through the Fire and the Flames, he's going to get a D8 of inspiration. Is that correct?
Yeah.
He gets a 2 on his D8, which is enough to beat the DC of 15. He originally rolled a 14.
Yes!
Oh,
It mattered.
It mattered.
So the first DC was 15 to hit the blast. The second DC was a 20 to hit this creature. So he makes the first DC and deflects the bolt of fire, or the stream of fire, that comes out of this creature and begins to spray, instead of on you at the base of the building, onto the top of the building.
Better than
You
you
can hear
guys.
the stream collide with the building as everything begins to erupt into flame. You may not want to stay here.
It doesn't sound like we do.
I bet things are really warming up now.
Oh man, things are really heating up right here.
So what are you doing
Um,
at this point? As the fire is
Uh,
hitting the building.
well, we've got to get out of this building right now.
Alright, and this creature does seem to fly past for now. In this immediate moment. Alright. So, for the Siva Manor, we go over to maps. I'll just put the roof on. There we go. M. Yes, okay, there we go. So here's where you are, Gregor, and V. Right, yeah, that's you. I don't know why you're brown instead of orange. But you're at this wall here that is no longer there. And then Gregor and V are out. And the Hunden is also right here with Gregor. So you've pushed out this cannon onto this pathway here. And that's where it was fired from. Bits of smoldering debris is falling down, though. There's a main gate here that does appear to not be latched at the moment. It seems slightly agape.
So the latch. Can I gust it to force it open so that we could just push through the gate really quickly?
Yeah, Gust is a bonus action.
It's a cantrip action.
Okay. Yeah. It's not latched, so yeah, fair enough. You can push through it. And are you just gonna gun it for the street, which is this brown?
Which is also on fire. It's better than being locked in the manor area, which is also on fire now. Oh man.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm gonna gust it open so at least like we have options.
All right, it's
And
now gusted
start
open.
moving.
All right, where are you
Moving
moving?
that way. Towards the opened door.
All right,
open
and
gate.
Gregor's gonna go with you as you pass. There you go. So you're just gonna make it this way?
What's the Hunden doing?
He is at the cannon now. And at a point of indecision, he seems to be looking at both you and then back up to the building above him, at you to the building above him. That's what he's doing for his action right now.
Your life is more important than what the Sivas stand for. They can rebuild that manor.
He's going to think on that. And he's going to aim the cannon towards the building.
I'm going to watch. I'm curious.
All right. He's going to turn the cannon, aim it up at the building, and try and gust away. Oh, I just hit my microphone. Gust away some of the flames that are licking the building. To a fair extent, he does put out where he had aimed, but there is just fire swirling around that point as well. and reigniting things. Can't exactly leave this family. They're all I've got. What are you doing?
Oh man. I sort of nod and then turn to leave, I guess. The building's too big of a target for us to I don't know how we fight this thing.
Yep.
We have the cannons, but like
Yeah, that building is prominently right here at this intersection. So
yeah.
you're right up at the riverfront. You can see that down the river, it is just steaming up. All of the water that seems to flow into this area is just very quickly turning to steam and flying up. You can also see this black creature coming back towards the city with something in hand.
Can I
And then
try to get a better glimpse of what it's carrying?
Perception check.
That is a 15.
15 will do it. From what you can see, in its claws is something that's moving. A sort of mass of something that's moving. As you get a closer look at it, it seems to be 2 clawfuls of people. As it throws them down into this molten town center.
Okay, so I don't think running is going to work.
Okay, so this
as it seems to land as well in there.
Okay, so this thing is like he's not whatever this creature is, it's not just like burning this place because it's like burning. This is just straight up malicious.
If you were here, that
All
would be an
right.
astute observation.
All right, so the cannons now seem like the best option again.
Oh, and I'll add
All
a
right.
little bit of fire onto the Siva Manor here.
All right, well, it's dropping people into the flames, so if you'd like to help the Sivas out, I suggest we kill that thing right now.
We can certainly give it a shot. All right. Take the other cannon. Roll it into the street. We'll have a better
All right, Gregor, let's
chance
go.
of aiming. All right. So, taking these cannons, you're going to need to make some strength checks. A 13 to make a meaningful movement of 10 feet. You have to move it here, looking back at the map here. So both of one of them is still in the room as it was used to fire out the wall. You're going to need to make 1, 2, 3, 4 DC 13 strength checks together.
Oh my goodness.
And I can get Gregor's help for these rolls?
Yes, you and Gregor can handle one, and the Hunjin, I can handle the other.
Perfect. Okay. Well, let's see. I rolled a 5.
A 5. All right, and Gregor's going to roll a 17. So you make your cannon to the doorstep, or to the wall step. The Hundin is able to move their cannon out to the gate at this point. Another round of pushing.
I got a 6.
Gregor got a 12. You budget about 5 feet. It's now technically outside. But also there is debris falling down, none of which seems to be around you at this moment, thanks to the cannon blast from the Hundin. Another round.
I got an 8.
8, and Gregor's going to get just exactly 13. So you can make it most of the way to the gate. The Hunden gets their cannon all the way out to the street and begins aiming.
Thank goodness for Gregor's strength.
Yeah, because my -1 is not helping very much.
I believe Gregor has a +3.
I was about to say +13.
Plus
man.
13. He should have broken out of those chains easily.
What are you talking about? He did.
He did. That's true. I wouldn't call
Let's
it
see.
easily, though.
Yes, Gregor has a +3. All right. One last round of strength checks before this arbiter well, let's just call it what it is, I guess, at this point. This arbiter begins to lift up into over the horizon into sight.
Oh. I got a 6.
6. All right. Gregor gets a natural 20.
Let's go, Gregor.
Oh boy.
So you both are able to get the cannon all the way to the street. You'll now
Listen,
have
I
2
know-
shots at deflecting this arbiter. At least from what you can tell about the creature, it's what arbiters look like.
Yeah, that's so lovely.
Yeah, this is a good situation to be
It's
in.
a great situation. All right, so it's aiming time.
It is indeed aiming time.
Is it time to
As
start
it begins
blasting?
to pick up. Let's see, in this case. Okay. Knowing what had just gone down in those few rounds of pushing. With nothing in hand. Seemingly. Just open hand. It begins to flap its wings to gain some altitude. It's going to be a distance, but to the actual shot, but it does seem to be aiming roughly towards you as it's beginning to fly. It's going from the northern town center, and its trajectory is going to go this way over the river.
I'm gonna get the shield of true sight out
Shield of True Sight, okay.
just to
Interesting.
equip it
Okay.
because I know it's from the Age of the Arbiters, so it might give me a slight edge. The slightest, maybe.
All right. So it doesn't seem to be flying directly towards you. Are you going to take your shot?
Yeah. 15.
15. All right.
Unless there's a modifier on it.
15, this would be, I think it's, let's add your intelligence modifier.
All right, that's 16.
16. As it is rapidly picking up speed, you do nick the end of its tail. These cannons will do... Where did I put that? I don't have the stat written down here. It's somewhere. But as this creature is currently fleeing away, or moving away at least, the damage seems inconsequential. As it hits the tail end of this arbiter, and it just paffs it to the side. No more than a burst of wind. As you hear actually from your perspective, would you hear this? As you hear this sort of thunder crackle out into the distance as it flies away. Or this like rumbling. There's no immediate edge of of thunder, but there is this sort of crackling. As it is now gone into the distance.
Okay. Do I hear anything from the town square?
Fire, burning, screaming.
Okay. Wanted to know if they were still alive. Okay.
And the hissing of steam as the river flows into this region.
I don't know how we run away from this. I don't know what we do here. Any ideas from you guys? It's probably coming back.
Let's see, it was from your inspiration that they were able to hit the dragon's blast to at least survive. So, the Hunjin is going to say, I hate to say it, but I don't think I have much more choice than to let you leave. Disappear. Don't come back. I've got work to do. As he turns the cannon around and begins blasting these gusts at the manor.
Oh, of course, not the town center. Okay. Okay. Gregor, what are your thoughts?
I have zero idea what to do. I would vote run away as my first vote.
Right.
Ideally, we'd be able to help people, but with that building over there literally melting, I don't know if there's much we can do.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like. All right.
We would need at
It flew
least
to the east,
a
right?
mage to move water or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know of anyone like that. Unfortunately. It flew to the east, right?
It flew off to the east. I'd say east-southeast. It is
What if
no
we tried
longer
heading
visible
to-
in the horizon.
What if we tried heading to the forest in the south?
I think that's where we were originally gonna go anyway, so
Yes, and well, if it's getting people from the east, it's not gonna come looking south, is it? Unless it sees us.
worth a
We should
shot.
get moving. Yeah,
All right.
let's get to running right now.
All right, and you take off running. Let's see. It is a journey to the edge of the forest, and there are some trails that head off towards this forest, but nothing substantial. No well-trodden roads. So each grid here is a mile. So you travel 1 to 3 miles over to the edge of the forest. At which point we're going to cut over to Pank.
Oh boy.
So Pank, we're gonna go ahead and switch the music over to you. So in this moment that you had teleported, once again, you had teleported right outside in front of your house where you had spent much of time playing with your friends, such as Kleck, if I recall.
I do.
And in the moment you were wrestling with a net, you had been consumed in ice. and as far as you can tell, you'd lost consciousness. However, you do come to in some sort of crystal, some sort of tilted conic shaped area. Annette is right in front of you, and your hand was over hers. Her hand collapses into the space where the shifter once was. You're both in this region alone. In this sort of conic crystal of light, of ether.
And there's
What?
no more consciousness shifter.
There's no consciousness shifter between your hands, no.
Am I able to move?
You're able to move. Go ahead and roll initiative.
Oh boy. I was rolling my d20s a few times to get all the bad rolls out first, and whoa boy, what a bad rolls there were. So, oh boy, that's gonna be a 14.
14. All right. Actually, I think Annette's dexterity is way higher. Let's see. Annette has a dex of +5. So yes, she's a little bit faster. She's going to go and draw a knife with her free hand and try and attack you here.
And that this isn't the time for this bullshit.
She goes to grab a knife and doesn't find one there.
Egg goes to grab his talons, and he's still a bird.
Yeah.
She's going to use a bonus action to disengage and step back from you. Only by about 5 feet of distance between you before she hits the wall of this crystal region that you seem to be trapped inside of. What?
Oh, and that's one of the sages of the Triforce.
What is this place? What did you do?
Your guess is as good as mine.
She's going to check for another dagger and doesn't find one. She starts patting all over her cloaks. Doesn't seem to find any of her weapons.
Look,
Last I remember, we teleported. You brought us to somewhere in the snow? Was that your home village or something?
yes, that is correct, and this is highly unusual for this time of year. Something's going on.
You see her put her hand over her mask.
This isn't the time for petty squabbling.
What would you say otherwise?
And she just thinks.
As she
we
thinks, I'm
dead?
just gonna let. Oh, sorry.
Are we dead?
I'm just in response to that. I'm just gonna look around real quick just to see if there's anything around or if it's just pure light, I guess.
It's just the bounds of these crystals that you can see. Or this crystal that you're in that you can see.
Oh, Pink will then respond. No, I hope not. Got more important business to be doing than being dead, so.
I've had a fair few amount of near-death experiences. And all I can remember is my body being overtaken by numbness.
Well, I don't know if this would be a near-death experience, because why would we be together still?
I mean, who knows how death works after? I mean, I've certainly seen how death works, but nothing from the other perspective.
I bet you two are well acquainted.
You could say that. She takes down her cloak over her head, revealing from a bit of the shadow that she has also been wearing a. And actually, this cloak is similar to the one that Liam usually had traveled with. Has a sort of dark mask over her eyes, as well as just a cloth mask of some sort over her mouth. The mask over her mouth is more complicated than the one Liam had been wearing. There seems to be a little more to it. She takes off her blinders and takes off her mask. Just holds them in her hands, and you can see that she has revealed piercing green eyes. One of them with a bloody streak through it. Black braided hair into a single braid going down. Just about to mid-shoulder length. And her face is just covered in chemical burns. Suppose I'll need these anymore. For a while, at least. I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Annette, was it? Would I have known her name? Would she have like said it or something, or George would have said it, or
I think Oswald said it.
Oswald said it?
Yeah?
Look, I guess, Annette, I presume.
I presume correct.
I don't have any personal squabbles with or against your family. I don't care what's going on here.
The business was mostly with the Sivas. Or with the egoishes.
I would hope so.
With you, it was just purely business. Having apparently treated my son perhaps a little less than you should have. A little less than was good for you. Now we're here.
When did we first get to Jasper? Like in the story? Was it like a day ago or so?
Let's see. In the story, I think it was a couple days ago.
A couple days ago.
Because you had stayed a night in the manor, and you had stayed a night in the dungeon. And there might have been another night that was kind of taken up just by your overall teleports. Yeah, you'd done at least 4 teleports. So it would have been another day spent. Off recollection.
And how does she look right now besides her like chemical burns that I assume were not caused by me in the fighting?
Yeah, these burns look like they've healed over at this point. They're not fresh.
But she did seem like she was doing bad from the fighting.
If I recall from the fighting, she's a little bruised. but overall not too injured.
Okay. If she was looking really bad, apologies to George, but I was gonna cast a first level heal wounds because to
Are you gonna
Pink
do that?
in this moment, getting out of here is a bigger issue than settling beef that is not his.
Hmm. In addition to having some decent bruises, she does look a little bit distraught and sad. And she's just quietly thinking to herself.
That's not a good idea to use that.
I hope
Second.
Aiden's okay.
Well,
I've not seen Aiden in months. Is Yaren still in Jasper? I hope they're alright.
at this point, Pink isn't really saying anything. He doesn't know who those people are. And to be honest, at this point, Pink doesn't care who those people are.
Conrad said he was in trouble. At least I was able to have breakfast with my son.
At least you're able to do stuff with your family.
That's why we keep him around, right?
Yeah, well, you should try telling that to my family. Seen him in over 4 years.
Well, it's not like you can resolve that now, even if you wanted to.
Yeah. I take it you're at least familiar with how to actually use the device that you're holding.
From what you described, yes.
And I thought of the one place that I wouldn't need to think twice about easily being able to return to. And for the first time in 4 years, that landscape awaited.
And that landscape brought death.
Mm.
That said, I can't hold too much blame to you, at least for my demise. I was gonna go into the apparently fire myself if you hadn't taken over. I don't know if I would have made it. But at least I would have been with family. And she's just gonna take a seat on the ground, lean up against the wall of this crystal.
And it's not like there's area outside of this crystal, is there?
Not that you can see. The crystal urine is somewhat opaque, but it does reflect what's inside. Perhaps think about the mission where you go into the Soul Stone in Skyrim. You think of that area, but green.
Okay.
And much smaller, of course.
I think I know exactly what this calls for. Second level thunder wave. Well, shit. My goal, by the way, is if there was like some sort of outside, I was gonna try and see if I could cast Misty Step. But an unoccupied space that I can see. Turns out the only place that I can see is around me. I don't get any of my weapons. I don't talons. I'm just gonna try and just like do some half-assed punching at the walls.
Okay.
Not really trying, because you know it's probably useless, but do I even need to make an unarmed strike roll against the
roll an
wall?
attack roll.
Yep, that fell off the desk. Ah. Wunderbar. That's a 7.
Doesn't seem to crack from your impact. Seems you're stuck in here with the net. As we go back to Jason. Or George, rather.
Well then.
So George, you, Gregor, with V in tow, have escaped out to the edge of the forest. That doesn't seem to be affected by whatever attack had just happened. As you've been running, though, you have noticed that some of the fields of crops have been haphazardly sprayed with fire. And in the spring, they were pretty, seeing as it's spring, in the rainy season, they are pretty lush, so the fire didn't spread too much. But you can certainly see that, you know, a lot of fields have been at least partially ruined. But you do make it over to the edge of the forest, where there is sparse trees, and I believe in the art tab, these are Douglas fir trees, looking a little bit like this. If you were up on the mountain itself, it'd look a little bit like this from above.
Did we see the arbiter again as we were running, or hear it?
You did not. The crackling of its flight seemed to dissipate into the distance. And generally speaking, the city sits at the low point, so you do have a vantage point down towards the city.
Okay.
Oh, and we will switch over the music as well. Well, I suppose this is the forest. What do you want to do now, George?
I want to rest. um,
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I'm exhausted.
Oh, me too. Oh yeah, I forgot to
What
add his
about?
exhaustion into the rolls. Oh well.
Oh man,
None of mine would
New
have
new
mattered.
exhaustion rolls
So-
or new exhaustion rules are a little weird. Still getting used to those. Honestly, yeah, I could use rest that's not in that chamber.
I think we all need some time away from that. About what time of the day is it?
It's around about 9 in the morning.
Oh,
But you would all not had exactly a restful night.
no. Yeah, we should definitely set up for some sort of rest. And I'm gonna start looking at this guitar.
All right, rope. Let V down gently, please. And you can see the rope begins to snake its way and very smoothly lower V onto the ground next to a tree. You
Just
are on
gotta
the very outskirts of this forest. You're still within view of the city as well as view into the forest. Or the edges of the forest at least.
Man,
just
we
gotta
kind of
say-
already put her down, though. I feel like we should maybe move a little bit further in just to get out of sight from, I don't know, some flying beasts that may or may not exist.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
All right. Let's just move a little bit further and then. Plus, it might be a little darker. Make resting a little easier.
That's true. I will say, be careful of wolves. They roam around this forest.
Okay. How long do you think we should rest for?
As long as you feel is necessary, I guess.
Let's just try to get some sleep and we can take turns watching over us. I need less time to sleep, technically. Gregor, I don't. You need sleep, don't you, Gregor?
Well, I'll say the run certainly woke me up a little bit better. So if you want to take the first rest, I'm fine. Just settling down here.
Okay, yeah, I think I'll do that. And then, yeah, you can have second rest.
Gregor looking up at the trees. Is trying to consider whether or not they'd be able to hold the weight of a person, much less a Gregor.
Oh, the tree.
Yeah, the trees.
Much less a Gregor.
I just gotta say, Gregor is definitely the type of guy who would say like please and thank you to an AI.
Yeah.
100%.
Let her down
Um,
nicely. Thank you, Mr. Rope.
Yeah, Gregor, even though he's pretty slender, as far as, orcs go, probably around 200 pounds. Even for a slender, pretty fit guy.
I
He's
do
not-
have a question.
Not super slender, but as far as orcs go.
Do I know what the slippers are that I'm wearing?
I believe they're attunable, so you've not
They are
noticed any sort
attunable,
of
but
effect.
does George know what they are?
Don't seem to recognize them, if that's what you're asking.
Would I be able to like perceive that these are magical slippers of some kind?
You can make our Arcana check.
Okay, let's see. That is probably not. That is a 8.
They were in the Siva's dungeon there. They're known to smuggle weapons. These slippers may be some sort of weapon
Perhaps.
or armor.
Well, I'll have time to figure that out when I'm awake again.
Hmm.
So I'm going to long rest for 4
Okay.
hours.
Let's see. That would almost catch us up to Pank. So we'll say as you take your long rest. Gregor's going to keep watch and do a terrible job at it. Okay. I'm going to have to make some rolls now. Pull up these tables. Okay, so that's there. Gregor has this. Gregor with his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 weapons on him. Honestly, yeah, it's not even a competition. So your rest goes by peacefully, but you wake up to Gregor with three wolves taken down.
Of course.
V, also being a high elf, has also taken a long rest.
I see you had a relaxing bit of time to yourself, Gregor.
Yeah, I'm hesitant to start a fire, though, given everything that's happened. So if you want some cooked meat, I don't know.
Oh, I've got rations on me. Are you hungry? Oh, the wolves, yes.
Yes, I've not eaten in a day.
Well, have some of my rations and then you can go to sleep, I suppose.
Well, thank you
And
kindly.
seeing that Gregor had to deal with wolves, I'm going to take out the sunblade from my backpack.
All right. So, as Gregor goes to sleep, you go ahead and make a perception check.
I think that's 11.
11?
Yeah, that's 11.
All right.
Oh, advantage, because I have the shield on.
Ooh,
That's a 23.
23. All right. So Gregor kind of dealt with the wolves, but you do see two wolves walking around in the distance, but you're able to make sure everyone, specifically Gregor, is kind of shifted out of sight. Well hidden, and they seem to pass you by.
All right. While we do this, I'm going to like in the downtime, sort of look at this guitar.
Which I do believe I was able to get into your inventory.
It is in my inventory, yes. I'm going to try to attune to this thing.
All right. I believe there's no special rules for attuning in this campaign. So as you take your short rest, or your, well, this is technically during a short rest. So if you want to take extra hit dice of healing after your long rest, you can.
Oh man!
Oh, and you,
my
of
short
course,
rest to
make
go
sure
with my
to-
long rest.
Exactly. You can also take away that point of exhaustion as well if you haven't already.
Cool.
You do just attune to this, and you can go ahead and read all of the attributes that it's able to do. I think I had to make a custom
Perfect.
item for it to work, but I just literally copy pasted the text. So
Cool.
and gave it a new name.
Yeah, I see. I see that. Yeah.
It's the epic guitar.
The epic guitar.
All right. Is there anything
And
you
I
want to
can
do
only
with
attune
your
to like one thing per day.
3 things at a time? Tuning per day. That's a good question. Yeah, as far as I can tell, there's no limit for the number of items you can attune during a long enough rest. Plus you have 8 hours of time to go through here.
Right.
So yeah,
Right. Cool.
You could attune to everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna try. Seeing that there are, at least the item image has spider web like webbings on the slippers. I'm going to try to see if I can attune to the slippers.
All right. You attune to the slippers as well. They really stick to your feet, kind of bind to them.
Interesting. I'm going to try to like shoot web for my feet.
An interesting attempt of something to do. Nothing seems to come out of your feet. I think thankfully.
Yeah, thankfully. All right. I guess the next best option is trying to see if I can climb up stuff.
Okay. Yeah, so first you attune to your guitar, you play a little Stairway to Heaven.
Smoke on
That
the
sounds
water.
beautiful.
Or I guess in this campaign, Steps of the Slate Mountains or something. You attune to the spiderweb slippers. I forget the name already.
Slippers
Spider
of
climb.
spider climbing.
Slippers of spider climbing. So as you put them on, you and really focus in on attuning to them. They do stick to your feet, and you begin to notice that they're very sticky to the ground. You can pick your feet up with a little bit of resistance, but you think that maybe, if applying a force parallel to the surface of the slipper, that maybe they will resist movement.
Interesting. Well,
Alright,
since we're in
so-
a forest, I'm gonna try to climb up a tree.
Putting your feet against the tree feels a little weird at first. The forces are a little unusual. I see you've got a spider.
Oh, I do. Shoot, I didn't even realize that.
So as you kind of begin to grab onto this tree here with both your feet and your hands, you realize that you could probably just support yourself with your feet. Something in these slippers has given you some ability to hold your body relatively rigidly. And so even without holding onto the tree with your hands, you can still hold structure to hold strong to this tree. And a spider on the tree seems to look at you with a look of approval. All right. Anything else in this short rest, or this long rest? Technically.
Since I've conquered gravity itself, I'm going to scale the tree to sort of see if I can see any more surrounding Jasper and or the creature
Okay.
that is seemingly an arbiter.
So perception check for the city, and then perception check for the arbiter.
And also, because the shield, I have advantage.
Exactly.
All right, so the first check is a 19.
Okay.
The second is a 10.
10. All right. So with the 19, I'll just give you the whole swath of the destruction, I guess. So after the amount of time that's passed, you can see that Seaport, the area that that your family had the tightest control over, on the west side of Jasper, has been hit in some of the cargo areas, but only lightly. Only some damage has been done there. A few large balls of fire have been slung there, but not many. Most of the damage seems to be around the town center, the town square, which was more of an oval for Jasper, but it was still called the town square. That does seem to be smoldering still, even after this long. But it does look like the river, all of the, or most of the gases coming off of the city are the steam from the river cooling things down, at least in the town center, which is very thoroughly melted. But the river has begun making its way back through the city, through that town center. It's flooded over a lot of the town center, and made its way past. Things are still on fire. The Siva Manor seems to have collapsed from what you can see here. As well as a lot of the fields to the north have received a lot of fire damage. And those were, if I recall, the mostly wheat fields to the north for the various breads that you would find in the city. Additionally, security at the, as far as you can tell, many. Well, actually, no, you wouldn't have seen this before, so I'm not going to say. Everything else kind of looks as you would expect it given the circumstances.
Okay, I'm gonna head back down then.
All right. Anything else?
Yep, that'll be it.
All right. At that point, we will take a break.
So
back in this crystal, to sort of recap where we are, Annette's just sitting against the wall, brooding.
I am going to expend one of my first level slots.
Okay.
Spell slots to activate primeval awareness.
Okay.
As an action, you can expend one ranger spell slot, 1 minute per level spell slot, to sense whether any Aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fays, fiends, or undead are present within 1 mile of you, or within up to 6 miles if you are in your favorite terrain, which I am very much not in this crystal. This feature doesn't reveal the creature's location or number.
Let's see. From what we covered, you were probably in there for a couple minutes so far.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let me look at the Giga map. You don't pick up on anything.
Oh, I tried. Anything else? I don't have any wild shapes, and that one really helped me anyway. Question.
Okay.
Does identify weakness only work on creatures?
I'd say yes.
Damn it. That would be so funny if it didn't, because I could identify the crystal's weakness. Okay.
At least the skill as it is, you could try and identify some weakness of this crystal, but that would be with a most likely investigation check.
Yeah, I'll do that. And this time, I will make sure to include my exhaustion. When you make a d20, each time you. When you make a d20 test, the roll is reduced by 2 times your exhaustion level. What is a d20 test? Is that just like a roll?
Yeah.
Okay. I will take exhaustion into account this time. Oh, that's fun. That's cool. That's a 9.
Nothing could break this as far as you could tell.
Well.
Bless you.
Thank you. And Pink is gonna sit down and see if he can fall asleep.
All right. It's certainly a hard surface in here, but
Pink isn't a
you've
stranger.
rested in worse places, so
Well, I
after a
wouldn't
while,
say
you're
I've
able to-
rested in worse places. More like in as
Worse
similar
comfort levels.
comfort. Yeah.
Yeah. So you are able to go to sleep. Or rest at least. And that doesn't seem to bother you.
The only reason Pink feels comfortable enough to fall asleep with Annette around is that he figures if she's going to do something to him, she's not going to do something to him in this situation. So yeah, Pink is just going to sleep for as long as he can because he's had an exhausting, well, really an exhausting month, but an exhausting last day or two, especially.
Hmm.
He was not allowed to sleep by a certain someone.
So you get not quite full sleep, but like a high level of restfulness through this. And so it's not like a full unconsciousness, but rather just kind of in your head, peaceful. You can hear Annette shifts once or twice off to the side. It's a relatively small area you're in, but it doesn't sound to, or it doesn't sound like she approaches you at any point. And the next thing you know, you hear, after how much time you don't really quite know, but you hear the sound of cracking, like the shattering of ice. You open your eyes. Through one of them, you can see in front of you Annette Siva frozen in ice. Through the other eye, you can turn it and see a familiar face of a much older now Kleck, seemingly digging you out of some sort of crystal of ice that you're frozen in. He sees you react, gives one of those kind of head tilts. And your ears are kind of frozen over, so you can't hear anything, but you can kind of see him say something off to someone else as he continues taking this I'd say what metal age would your tribe be in? I would think it'd be like maybe bronze or brass. Because I didn't see a forge in any descriptions you gave me. So I would assume it's mostly wood and maybe like some light metals.
Yeah, that's more.
Or stone. Yeah, we'll say it's stone tools here.
Stone is probably more accurate.
So yeah, he's chipping away with this sort of stone hatchet, or this stone pick, trying to slowly break you out. And this takes quite a while, as it's thick ice. From what you can see, the crystal you were in was about the size of this crystal of ice you're now in.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and switch the music, by the way, now that you're awake. And eventually, you are slowly broken out. And you can hear, you can see Kleck saying, "Hey, you look like one of us." There's no... As you're still being dug out, you're probably about, the upper part of your body is kind of like free to move. You've got one arm, most of a wing free on the right side.
He doesn't
You look like Pank.
Okay, so in the flesh.
This guy's good.
Fig is gonna be like,
When
might
did
be
you
onto
get back?
something. Let's see. How long have I been frozen?
Hard to gauge the time given the weather, but and you can see it is still snowing. And what you can also see at this point is your village frozen over. Oh, let's move the. I would wager a guess maybe 3 to 4 hours, maybe longer. I don't know.
And I'd
We've been
say
dealing with a lot, as you can
that's
see.
highly unusual for this time of year. At
As he
least
begins
from what I remember.
chipping out your wing.
But if I've been frozen for 3 to 4 hours, I'd wager I got back about 3 to 4 hours ago.
Ah. Do they have anything to do with this and whatever that device is in your hands?
So we are still holding the consciousness shifter collected.
You do
like,
seem
together.
to be hand over hand holding the consciousness shifter in this crystal.
She. Oof. Long story. Yes, she's involved. And. Ugh. Really long story.
Also, thing to point out is you are at 1 hit point.
No.
And
Okay,
very
so
cold.
everything that Pink has been saying, then imagine it's been like very, very slurred and through like chattered teeth and all that.
Shattered beak.
Chattered beak, yeah. Yeah, she's a long story, but held captive by her. And this device is, I guess you could call it a teleportation device.
Well, you've certainly gotten up to some interesting adventures then. Well, figured you were just kind of drifting out in the world, living your best life. Or at least that was the hope, at least. And he breaks out one of your legs now. Or at least begins to. Well, hopefully we can get you out of here and get you warmed up. Luckily, it doesn't look like it destroyed your house, but your family isn't exactly available right now. They're seemingly at the sort of same state as you were just in. My family are in my house, or my hut. If you want to join us there, trying to keep warm. How have you been? I guess.
Am I like broken out by this point?
He's still chipping away. This is
Okay.
going to be a long process.
Yeah.
It's kind of just like captive audience, I guess.
Well, it's been busy, you could say. Especially the rest. God, I don't even know. I haven't been keeping track. Maybe a month or so.
Ooh. Hence, I guess your imprisonment by this person?
I don't even know the details myself. I've kind of partied up with some people, one of whom seemingly has some sort of familial power struggle with another family in a city. Jasper, if you've heard of it.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not familiar, really.
I figured.
But speaking of familial power struggles, the Oleg.
That sounds right.
Hold up. It's in the document. The Orang may or may not take this time as a advantage of weak point, so we may want to look out. I've
That would check out.
some of us have scouted out the surroundings of the Schloss Forest, and it looks like a lot of other places have been hit, like this one, like home. Strangely enough, it doesn't look like anyone frozen has died. They all seem to just be trapped in ice. It's very strange.
Well, certainly was an interesting experience being trapped in there. I guess I was unconscious then. Felt like I was trapped inside of a crystal.
Yeah, I'd say so. Well, hey, let's hopefully free up this leg here. And eventually he ends up chipping away your the ice binding your foot. And so you have most of your maneuverability now, but your arm is still in this ice. And this ice, you you spent so much time conscious in it now. While it is incredibly cold, you don't feel like the effects of frostbite or hypothermia are taking hold. It's just a very cold sensation, but it's not causing you any harm.
Would the Orank not also be frozen?
From what we saw flying around, their territory wasn't hit.
Weird. And is this the recent thing? I take it?
As of today, yes.
Wasn't snowing or icy before?
Well, we were expecting rain, but I think whatever that thing was, certainly changed that. Seems to have a lasting effect too.
At this point, Pink is just kind of like thinking.
Mm-hmm.
At least, like, seemingly not unresponsive, but just like lost in thought. And also cold. Well, not cold, but like, well, cold, I guess, as hell. And at 1 HP.
Mm-hmm. So after a long time of slowly chipping you out and having little bits of conversation between swings, he does get to your other hand that is over the consciousness shifter. And begin breaking that free now.
Oh. Device is still okay. Kind of need it.
I can try and be careful around it. I mean, I've been careful around you so far.
You're doing a good job.
And eventually he does break you out to the point where you can pull your hand out if you so choose.
I definitely am going to, and Frank is going to just kind of like be as like just trying to stretch himself out, but like it's just coming off as like very slow, sluggish,
Yeah.
it's almost
And there's still
slurred
some
movements.
ice kind of like in your wings.
Yeah.
Certainly not comfortable to any extent of the word.
No, not at all. And does not have full range of motion of any body part. That's what he's trying to like stretch out, but is just unable to.
Well, if you say this woman, oh no, he can't tell that, because they're fully cloaked. Oh, if you say this person is your enemy, and they teleported in at a very inconvenient time, I'll say, for both of you. Would you prefer I don't break her out for now?
Probably for the best.
Will do then. Well, you're free to head into my tent, my hut. Should be a fire going on in there. Warm up.
Hank will give him a slight nod as he like puts a little wing on his shoulder a little bit and gives him a sort of like an almost undecipherable look. Not negative in any way, but just kind of like
And
confused.
I don't think anyone's gonna mention anything about your exile, especially given the circumstances. I don't think Mom would really have any care to hold that against you either. She's making soup, so warm yourself up a little bit.
I do love how nonchalant it is about the exile. This is out of character, but but yeah, Fink will head over to Kleck's house.
Oh, and what type of bird is Kleck?
Ooh, I don't think I ever came up with that. Not.
I've been thinking some level of pigeon.
Pigeon would be good. Pigeon would be good. I was about to say cardinal, but that's not a good choice because of the bright red.
All right.
Yeah, pigeon definitely fits.
All right. So in In Kleck's tent, you can see Mother Kleck. Does she have a name that you would like to give?
I should have done a little bit more preparation for that. Um, her name is uh, yeah.
Well, for
Why not?
for now, you
Well,
see Miss Kleck or Mrs. Kleck,
yeah. I'll come up with
as you would
some.
call her when in your youth, Mrs. Kleck. The sort of larger Aarakocra individual, very, very, very floofy, very poofy, pigeony form of Mrs. Kleck, stirring away at a pot of fish soup.
I think is gonna kind of like make a little noise. Like it's a tent. You said right?
I believe you described it as either tents or huts. It doesn't really say in your thing here.
I would
I
be
can tell.
imagining more huts.
A few circular homes
Yeah,
is how you describe
huts would be more accurate of a term. So yeah, I'll give like a little knock 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 before entering,
it. Oh, do come in.
and Fink will come in.
Well, I'll be.
Miss Kleck.
It is you, Pank. My,
It's
have
been
you've grown.
it's been a bit.
Well, as always, make yourself at home. I'll get you a bowl of soup right away.
Much
Blankets
appreciated.
are where they always were.
Sorry, what? Can you repeat that?
Blankets are where they always were.
Oh, okay. Eve will go over and grab a blanket and sit as close as I safely can with the blanket to the fire.
Hmm. Well, it's good to have you back. Have you visited with your family at all yet?
No, according to Kleck, I've been frozen for probably about 3 to 4 hours. So
Yeah. But before whatever happened, or did you just happen to arrive?
do I have the consciousness shifter on me?
Kleck didn't dig it out yet, and you didn't say anything to him about that, so he's just left it and then moved on to another crystal or another icicle.
Well, I mentioned that the device. I mentioned the device, and he said that he'd be careful around it.
Hmm. Because your hand was on top of it.
Well, I said I need the device to be like good, like fine, because it's important.
Hmm.
So I did mention at least the device, and it was important to me in some way. But I guess I didn't
It is
say.
currently left
Yeah.
where it is.
Well, I will probably go back for that in a second. But either way, I had just got back around the time that I was frozen.
Oh, well, quite unfortunate, but well, you're always welcome here. Although, not sure if you would really want to stay given the state of the tribe. Referring, of course, to the attack, things have with the leader of the tribe and everything have been pretty consistent over the last couple years, but yeah, not really sure what's going on, but gonna
This is weird.
have a best attitude I can after that, or as far as we can go.
Up until today, things have just been pretty as standard.
Same as usual. Squabbles with the Arank here and there, but no real movement here or there of the border. At least not anything significant. Just kind of same old as it always has been.
I can't quite explain it, but just like he's feeling right now, like some sort of weird comfort that things are just going as they have been up until today, of course. But
well, how's the soup?
it's delicious. Thank you.
I'm glad you enjoy it. Don't know how fishing's gonna be with the lake at least partially frozen. A lot of the fish have sort of evacuated downstream. But we still have our stores. Guess the benefit of all this is easy refrigeration of our material.
I guess that is one positive.
All right. So eventually, you do get warmed up, just in the comfort of a familiar home. Eventually,
does my health increase at all, or am I still at one HP?
this counts as a short rest if you want to take the dice.
I think so. Yeah. How does short resting work again?
I believe you get a number of hit dice. It's dependent on your class. It'll say on your sheet. You can choose as many of those dice as you want, and roll whatever you roll on those dice. You can add back to your health. Every long rest, you recover half of the total of the number of hit dice you have. So if you have 8 hit dice total, each long rest you'll recover 4 that are spent.
If I have 5, is that rounded up or down?
We'll say rounded up.
Rounded up, okay. I will do.
Eventually, Mrs. Kleck goes ahead and takes a bowl of soup and sits with you. Begins eating.
I'll just roll digitally.
If you get the chance, I'm sure your family would like to see you. After how long it's been.
It would be nice to see them again. If I'm being honest, I've never really gotten over what happened 4 years ago.
Well, the tribe leader maybe might have some opinions, but I think given what's happened today, I don't think keeping you out is exactly going to be a priority. So I think it's safe to say you're welcome to stay as long as you would like.
Much appreciated.
Not sure what the coming days or months might hold, but we've always held out.
I imagine Pank can make some inferences, at least, that what's going on has to do with, the world ending.
Mm-hmm.
Not like what that creature was or anything of that sort, like detail wise. But at the very least, I feel like he'd be able to draw that type of conclusion. I think that's a reasonable thing to say.
Mm.
Not going to say that out loud, but in his mind, he's probably just thinking like days or months. That's going to kind of depend on me and George.
Mm. So how long are you going to be just chilling in this hut?
I've warmed myself up a little bit. I'm at 16 hit points now. So
Mm-hmm.
I've warmed up, I've eaten a little something, and I can at least move myself fairly freely now. There's no ice that's like still between my wings or anything. So probably shortly after finishing the soup and everything and feeling as good as I can after that, I'm probably going to get up and excuse myself to go find my parents.
All right. Good seeing you.
Likewise. Thank you for the soup.
Oh, anytime. So, stepping out of your cabin here, or out of their cabin, or not cabin, hut. There you go. We'll get it eventually.
One of these days.
You're once again out in the snowy environment of your old village, your old tribe.
Are spell slots a long rest or a short rest thing?
I believe they're a long rest
It's
unless
long
you're a
rest.
sorcerer.
It's long rest unless you're a warlock.
Okay. I think I'm going to cast a second level Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
Thank you, new D&D rules, for making it 4d8 plus 2. Here's d8.
Oh, and I will say the level 1 spell slot you used in the crystal is not spent.
Duly noted. All right.
All right, Jason, I've seen the text on your shirt. I now need to see your shirt. That's a pretty good dog.
Dog.
It's dog. It's dog.
Brilliant.
So I healed 24, which is I'm happy about. I'm above half. And
all right.
I'm going to go over to my hut.
All right. Your hut is much as you've left it. I recall you don't have any siblings, so it was just you and your parents. They're not in right now. But there is just a sense of nostalgia in seeing this place pretty much untouched. Your bedroll is still there in the hut. It's been, it doesn't look like it was, or that it's in a state of being used, but rather that it's been tidied up, and left ready for use, but not put away or packed away or anything.
I'm probably gonna go up to it and then just kind of like trace the edge of my, I guess, talons across it, just being with like a sort of melancholic smile.
Mm-hmm. And one thing you notice about it, or one thing that sort of strikes you, is that it's probably a bit too small for you now, as you are. You've certainly grown.
I will leave it where it is. I'll not bring it out or anything. But I'll just like look around a little bit more, just noting how little it's actually changed.
Mm.
And then after staying around a little bit, I'll probably head out and I guess go looking around the actual area, see if I can find them, if they're like frozen or something.
Mm.
And if so, I have produced flame.
Let's see. So, let's have you roll a... Let's call this a survival check to track down your parents.
Oh, I'm good at this. Okay. It's going to be a 17.
17. All right. So, see, considering this attack was very fast, your parents are frozen in one of these icicles somewhat near the west end of the river,
Okay.
off over in this direction here.
Mm-hmm.
And just to explain what the ice around here is, there's this sort of circle around the village of ice that seems to have these spikes coming up towards the center.
Oh, wow. Okay. And they're frozen one of the spikes?
They're not frozen in the spikes, they're frozen sort of below it.
Okay. Okay.
On the ground. Although it does seem like this spike that they're in did fall from up above, and they look like they're frozen mid-flight. And they were together.
I am going to immediately start casting Produce Flame, which is a cantrip.
All right.
However, I'm not doing it to like attack. I don't want to like over melt and hurt them or anything. It's just like doing my best to control it and melt it a whole lot quicker than chiseling it out.
All right. And so by the time you're able to melt out your parents, we'll say time is synced up again.
Yeah.
And we will switch now back to George.
George and the boy.
The boy. And we also have the bear. But
And the
she's also
mayor.
And the
important.
mayor
And the girl.
in the forest. Maybe a little bit too chipper of music given the circumstances. I
Such a
expected you
Nah, this
contrast.
is
to
this is
maybe
feeling
make
pretty appropriate.
But yes, you're in this forest of mushrooms.
There's mushrooms around.
Yes, one thing that you've noticed going into this forest is that at the base of a lot of the trees are various different types of mushrooms. Not all one species. Interestingly enough.
Do I know if any of them are edible?
You can make a nature check. And I'll open up my mushroom table.
I got a 19.
19. Okay. Okay.
I can't get a cannon out, but boy, do I know my mushrooms.
Okay. So you go up to one of these mushrooms that is this is a dark brown mushroom that grows on the sides of trees and resembles sort of tongues that reach out to catch rainwater that might drip down. This is the tree tongue mushroom, and it is edible. You probably get a little bit of a stomachache if you ate it raw, but oh, actually, I have. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. So these are edible, but you would want to probably stew them for a while to break down any sort of unpleasant chemicals in them.
Mhm. All right. Well, I can't really build a fire, so I might just I'll leave it, I guess. I don't really want to put it in a backpack and then forget about it.
Mm.
I suppose. Hmm. Well. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm gonna cast sending.
Sending. Okay.
I'm gonna cast sending. I'm gonna strum my guitar, of course.
Ooh.
Wait, is sending?
Do you strum a guitar, or do you just
I'm
press the
going
keys?
to play my guitar.
It's just a keyboard.
All right, you play
Yeah.
a lick on the guitar.
Oh wait, it should be like a ascending tune, like maybe like the Skype
have
startup
anything.
theme or something like that.
So you get
Oh,
that
they're
whoop,
shutting
whoop,
down
whoop,
Skype.
whoop, whoop, whoop.
They
Yeah,
are.
but yeah, and then I'll say, "Hello, Peck. This is George. Are you okay? 3 in forest. Me, Gregor, Mare. Stay
I lost count.
safe, my friend." I also lost count.
We'll say that all gets through.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Pink, as you're melting out the last bits of your parents, they do seem a little unconscious. How are you reacting here?
Hey, George. My village is frozen over.
Oh, I didn't mention mine. Oops.
I got frozen. Thawed now. helping thaw others.
You got 10 more words.
Consciousness shifter is fine. Annette frozen. Yes.
4 words if you wish to choose them, or wish to use them.
We'll meet again later.
I turn to Gregor and I say, "Long live the Siva family."
Wait, what happened?
Uh,
Wait, what?
it appears that Anat Siva has received a rather chilly reception at wherever Pank went.
Is that a good thing
She's
or a
frozen.
bad thing?
She's frozen. Sounds like she's not going to be a problem for us anymore.
I see. Well, good, I think.
Oh, and Pank's alive.
Yes, very good.
Oh yeah, and Pank's
Oh
alive.
yes, that's good news. That's for sure good news. That much I do know. Well, I am glad to hear that monster is done for.
As am I.
Certainly a
All
scourge on the
right.
town. On the city.
I probably should have been clearer about the being frozen part, but it's fine.
Oh, like George wasn't very clear, or was extremely clear about his situation.
Oh, okay, but
He-
you see, I gave you the impression that she was dead.
I gave you the impression that everything was fine in Jasper.
You know what? That's fair. Pank was not aware that Jasper is indeed so on fire that the fires are over 1600 degrees Celsius.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it back to Pank.
Oh, and I actually did look into the source of that fire, what was causing it. And 1,600 is actually lower number than what it actually was.
Oh
It was
gosh.
a few times more.
A few times.
A few?
Few
Oh
times.
gosh. Yeah, I'm gonna send back to Pank.
Enough to melt steel beams.
Oh shoot.
I didn't know George Bush was here.
Is that like camouflage, George?
Hey guys, it's me. I'm here. I'm in this story too.
Skype startup noise.
I'm more familiar
okay.
with Teams, I guess. Boing,
Mhm.
boing, boing, boing.
Boop, boop, boop. Whoop, 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 whoop.
Hello, Pank. This is George. Jasper is on fire. Black bird arbiter thing burned everything, including people. We made it out. Dog person stayed behind.
All right, Pank.
George, what the fuck? That's bad. I'm gonna count bad as 2 because I like bad. Glad you're good. Realized I should clarify. Annette frozen, not dead.
6 more words.
We'll figure that out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. So Annette is still alive. Apparently. Though seemingly Pank is on better standing than she is in the whole not being frozen thing. So I don't know how much I'm going to worry about that right now. Considering he has the shifter. And she is frozen.
That reminds me, I should probably go get the shifter. Pink will realize in due time.
Pink will remember.
His parents are
right.
kind of unconscious right now, so.
Well, Miss Mare, would you like
Yes.
to go try to find my siblings? Or sibling? Would you like to go find Nuvian?
Sure, if you think you can help.
Well, see, before we got in similar situations to yourself, our plan was to escape Jasper via treading through the forest and mountains, meeting up with my brother, and then heading to the other continent. We got a little stop there. And we're missing one of our companions, but we can go find the people in the forest while we wait. Seems my companion is a little tied up on his own stuff right now.
Also, sorry.
Must be winter time over there.
Yeah, perhaps. Well, anywhere's really better than the city at this point, so. I guess I'm along for the ride.
What inspiring words from our dearest Mare.
Yeah, I'm maybe not in the
I'm only jesting.
mood to smooth or to silver tongue or however. I've kind of been
might be out of the
being
job.
drowned for the last few weeks.
Yeah, this there might not be much of a city of people left to manage. But that's enough of that. Okay. Oh. Wait.
Jamming out.
Oh, I don't want to sending again. That would, but that wouldn't necessarily work. Okay, let's just get exploring, I guess. Oh, I have an idea. That doesn't sound like a good idea, actually. Let's just get going.
All right. Well, I guess we're off then. Okay, rope. He's back to the back carrying thing, and like the rope snakes around, coils up, helps mount Mayor V onto Gregor's back. Well, I guess onward we travel. Yeah. All right.
Yes.
So are you just traveling deeper into the forest? Or do you have any sort of plan going on?
Yeah, deeper in the forest sounds good.
Okay.
I would like to say... sorry.
As you get deeper and deeper into the forest, it does get more dense than where you were at. to the point where there's sufficient tree cover where you can't see much of the sky or much of the city on fire.
What are the
Yeah, you just
condition of the Palombi's clothing?
scraps.
Could they be mended?
They can be prestigified.
Okay, I'm going to take the fine clothes from my pack, from my backpack. Just be like, would you like a change of clothes, by the way?
That'd be nice. It's been a bit
Yeah,
breezy,
it, you know, it does
but
look like
given the
that, yeah.
heat, you really don't have a complaint there.
Yeah, well,
But
it's
yes,
not,
I would
hopefully,
appreciate being in actual clothes again.
yeah, I would imagine it's not going to get that warm. I would pray it's not going to get that warm over here. So yeah, Gregor, if you can let her down and we can.
Oh, sure. Go ahead, rope buddy. Do your thing there and gently let her down.
Yeah, let me just get my costume clothes out of my backpack, and I'll give her the fancy clothes or the fine clothes.
I'm trying to think where we could meet up again because Pink can teleport to Old Sins in Citrine. He probably
Yeah,
could have gone to the manor, but that might be a little.
on
It
fire.
might be a little too hot right now.
As you deliver the clothes to Mayor Palombi, she does muster up the humility to say over to Gregor, I'm not sure how well I can dress myself with my hands like this. You mind helping me out, big guy? Oh, yeah, I can certainly help with that. I will be very respectful.
I'm just gonna.
You mind stepping away, Gregor? Or that's me. Stepping away, George.
I am going to make a like a room of drapes surrounding them with a minor illusion. Like it's
Ah,
a
yes, the room of changing.
like it's a clothes drying on area or something like that, but it's all curtains or whatever. And I'm just gonna
Yep.
walk a little away.
Okay. Fair enough. I think it's reasonable to say you could do that. So, eventually, Mayor Palombi does get all changed up into some roughly fitting. They're a little short for her, but
How tall is she?
uh, probably if it weren't for her joints being all messed up, probably the same height, if not a little taller than Gregor.
Whoa.
Oh, yeah, that's a little small on her.
She puts the high in high elf, or at least she did.
We'll figure it out. Can we mending joints?
Probably not.
We'll figure it out. I hope.
Yeah, we'll figure that out. I'm sure.
I know a cleric.
Trying to think. Whomst.
Lee.
Ah. Indeed he is. Well,
would be a little distance.
you keep walking down into the forest, you see more mushrooms. You don't really come across anything notable in the forest other than just more mushrooms. But you take a while and keep venturing in, I guess.
All right. I might have to bite the bullet on this one. Little help might be in order. Okay. I'm gonna pull up my guitar and play the Skype intro music and say, "Hello, Nubian. This is George. We are in forest. I have Mare. Would like to meet up. Maybe a little lost. Send help. Thanks. George."
Okay. You know the message goes through. And I need to remember a name.
I am curious, though. He
I wrote
doesn't
it
know
over
where
here.
in the forest you are.
I do have the idea of making a loud noise, but I don't know how good of an idea that is.
Sounds like you need something like Thunderwave.
Uh,
I have
There we
minor
go.
illusion.
That would work too.
Minor illusion in Act 2 has been like the main spell. In Act 1 it was mending, in Act 2 it
there it
was
is.
minor illusion.
Okay, so I will be able to find that next time. Okay, so you get a response back saying, "Hello, George." And this does sound, well, it's Nubian, of course, but it does sound like he's in a little bit better health than your last contact to him. So, hello, Erjor.
I said George. Oh my gosh. My bad.
I think he generally recognizes your voice. Hello, Erjor. I think this is Nubian.
Oh, how respectful. Now that's an eager wish introduction right there.
Aunt Miriam asks, what mushrooms are nearby?
I can't send it back. Oh, well, I could. Can I upcast sending?
I think you can.
I
think
would
you can
have to
spend a
use
higher
my
level
one
spell
level
slot.
4 slot to upcast sending.
Hope to see you soon. Given the circumstances. Nuvian.
I think it's more worthwhile to meet up with him than to save the slot.
I have an idea. No. Okay, so is it still the tongue mushrooms?
So you've now moved into an area. Go ahead and make me a perception check.
Oh.
As I go back to my mushroom table.
That is. I did take the shield off because I realized I don't have proficiency in shields.
Hmm.
13.
Okay. So, 13. I'm just going to read you all of this quickly. So, what you remember is kind of what you get. So, there is. Waiting for a plane to pass by. There's an oranges-capped mushroom with flesh-colored gills and a reddish accent at the top. A translucent white mushroom reefed out, resembling a clumped-up ribbon of incredibly thin sliced cheese. A medium-sized burgundy-capped mushroom with gray gills and a white stem wrapped in a pale white frond. Those are the mushrooms you see around you.
Okay. I'm going to play a slightly louder Skype intro music sound.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Sorry, I was.
Siri did not like that, apparently. Okay. Hello, Nubian. This is Airjor. You were right. There is orange with red cap, translucent one, another one with gills. Orange has gills too. I'm not sure what they are.
4 more, I think.
I can make sound.
Hello, Airjor. This is Nuvian. She'll come out your way. It might take a bit of searching. Sit tight. That's all he says.
All right.
Nuvian.
All right. Well, from the sound of it, my aunt is going to come find us, so we can actually just hang out here, I suppose.
All right.
Oh, I guess I could make sound too. I did say I could do that. All right. What sound am I going to make? I'm going to enlarge my voice as loud as minor illusion will let me. And and I'm going to say, here is orange mushroom.
Just very loudly shout it.
Yeah. With minor illusion's help, of course.
Okay. So you shouted into the distance. And wait. At which point we will go back to Pink. As you finish thawing out your parents, and they begin to come to. First will be... Oh, they rolled very low. Both of them, they rolled very low on their sort of initiative there. We'll say your father wakes up first. This would be your father, Quack, or Cack. Qaak.
Yeah. Okay, but quack would have been really funny.
Especially given as he is a blue jay.
Yeah.
So, your father, Cack, wakes up, looks at you. Hank?
In the flesh.
What's happened here?
Good question.
Your mother and I had flown up to respond to something incoming. Looks like maybe the, not the Kark. What is it? The tribe. Two different documents. The Orank. All of these fun names.
All these CK names.
Wait, Orank is NK.
Yeah,
Pank's NK too.
There's CKs and just Ks.
Oh, wait, no, Pank is CK, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I'll make a mental note of that naming scheme.
I started doing that, and then I was just like, screw it. It's canon now.
Well, now I have to make this name fit that naming scheme. It looked like the Orank were sending over Big Aunk. It was just going to be Big Al because he's an albatross, but Big Aunk?
I think it's safe to say that it's in Ankek tradition. Oh, but we have the Orak. Whatever.
Aunk. There we go.
Aunk.
ALNK.
Aunk. Okay.
Looks like the Orank were maybe sending over Big Aunk, who you would know is their main sort of like tanky fighter. Or something. But we had flown up, and the next thing we knew, well, we're here now. I don't remember much before or much after that. Or before now. Huh. Well, how you been, boy?
Long.
Much bigger than I expected. I remember.
Been up to a lot. A lot has been going on recently. And I don't know what this is. Gesturing to the surroundings.
Well, same boat. Same boat here.
I am also going to cast level 1 Cure Wounds on him.
Oh. Ooh. I see you've been learning on your time away.
He gets back 7.
How much health would he have? Let's see. 7's a start.
Just enough to get him like able to move more than I could when I first got out of the ice.
So he stretches out his wings that are a little bit icy still, but very much wet. Like does a shake off of them. Well, I say we get your mother back to the hut and reconvene there.
Mm-hmm. Is she still frozen, by the way?
No, she's also thawed out at this point. She's just not conscious.
Oh. Yeah, we'll bring her back, and then I'll also cast.
And your dad's
Cure
not
Wounds
questioning the situation. He's just kind of going along with it.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll bring her back, and then I'll cast Cure Wounds on her at level 1 as well.
Mhm.
Because
right.
healing when you're unconscious makes you conscious again, right?
I believe
Is
so.
that how that
yes.
works? Yeah.
And I'm just going to write something down.
I love the music for what's coming.
Oh, right. So we will go back to the music. That's not George. Back to the Frostlands for the Ankek tribe. So you make your way back to your hut, and you heal up your mother. Who would you like to describe your parents?
That's 11 health back for her, by the way.
11 health for her? Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
I know they're bluebirds, but I think that's it.
Hank's dad is Hank very much takes after his father more than his mother in terms of physical qualities. They don't look identical, but they look fairly similar to where an untrained eye at a distance would probably mix them up.
Okay.
But to those who know them, they're like, oh yeah, they're obviously like different. But he is a bit taller than Pank. Pank's 4'8", and his father is. Don't think I came up with a specific height. We'll say he is 4'11".
Okay.
A few inches taller. But yeah, physically very similar to Pink. Both of them are Blue Jays, but marking wise, and I haven't come up with like specific markings for Pink, so I'll just kind of hand wave the specifics. But marking wise, they do have very similar. They even have the same circle around one of their eyes.
Okay.
Hank's mother is a bit shorter than him, but not by much. 4'7", only 1 inch shorter. She too is a Blue Jay, based off of Blue Jay, but she is a darker shade of blue.
Okay.
So it's easier to tell them apart, and their markings are not similar enough to be like mixed up. But yeah, those are like the general differences. All in all, yeah, they're all bluebirds.
So with the picture we have there of blue Gumi, that's a pretty deep blue. So maybe Pank's shade of blue is a little closer to his mother's, and his dad's a little lighter, but he has his dad's markings. Kind of idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice. Well, with the healing, your mother comes to. Oh, Pank! Welcome home.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Can't really tell what time it is, but morning.
At which point, we will switch back to George.
Didn't even get to
so
go
George,
grab the consciousness shifter.
I think we have. I'll continue that sentence later. So George, in the forest, having called out orange mushrooms here, after probably about an hour of just waiting, you do see a wolf come by it. A bit larger than the ones Gregor had handled, but it is a lone wolf that seems to trot into the area and notice you. What are you doing?
Without, I mean, all three of us are awake. Without,
Yep.
Activating it, I'm just gonna have the Sunblade ready in my hand and just sort of observe what this wolf is doing.
Okay. So the wolf slowly approaches you. Seems to be locked onto just you, George. Gregor is holding, we'll say, the war axe, right? The great axe from the Bruisin' Cruisin' that he's still holding on to. And he's just kind of holding at the ready just in case.
Dang, I gave him such an exquisite sword and he's got an axe. Actually, you know what? Fair.
The sword is one of the many weapons on his back that that I will say the rope has taken care to not let brush up against Mayor V.
Cool.
Or Mayor Palambi.
Well,
according
considering
to Gregor's order.
it's just approaching me, not like aggressively. Yeah, I'm gonna stand my ground, see what this is all about.
All right, so it gets up probably about 15 feet away from the lot of you. The mayor's like, wait, what's going on? Why are you drawing swords? Why are you drawing weapons? And then in front of you, strangely, this dire wolf stands up on its hind legs and says, Erjor, is that you?
It is me.
And that's where we're going to call the session. Behold, dog.
We did not have
survived.
A total party. Yeah, we survived. I was so scared. I was so scared.
Oh my gosh.
Cluck is the goat. Actually, he's the bird, but